Surprise! We're back. It's a few days later and actually a little bit of a change of plans. I went and I got my hair done. I have it up in twists now. So I know I've been mentioning that we made the hair accessories and things like that for this long ponytail that I envisioned. We will still have the full fantasy. You'll just have to wait until real Halloween. But for video purposes, I just wanted to show you guys exactly how I was gonna do my makeup. I've had this idea to go with the costume and I can't just give you guys one and not the other. So for whatever reason, this is gonna be the first time I show makeup on my channel. I hope you guys enjoy. We're gonna be going for a smoky red with a gold cut crease type moment. And it's gonna be a little bit atypical because of course we are the Queen of Hearts, so you'll see where that piece comes in later. I have my brows already finished, ready to go. The next thing that I wanna do is prep for some shadow on my eyes. And I like to do that with a P. Louise base and a flat brush. So we'll go ahead and grab that. I just dab the tiniest bit on there. The littlest bit really does go the longest way. And I don't always prime my eyes, but I will today because we're gonna be using red shadows and red typically tends to stain my lid. I really don't wanna deal with like pink-ish, reddish lids tomorrow, so this should help. And I don't need it super thick or anything. When we do the cut crease later, we're gonna use the same exact P. Louise base. I just need something to work with for now. And we're doing the shadow first. I should also say I don't always do my shadow first. So just depends on how I'm feeling and like the look that I'm going for. But because this one's gonna be so intense and a little bit on the precise side, I think it'd be best if we started with this. And I like to drag it out just to like the end of my brow. You can see that. So from here, just dab this out. Kind of set it in place. I have one good layer on so we can work with that. Okay, kind of just looks a little white right now. We'll do the other side. I also do both of my eyes at the same time. I know some people like to do one eye completely and I can't. That's the one thing. That's where I draw the line. I just can't. Base is on and this video turned out to be perfect timing. I don't know if you guys know who Rawbeautykristi is. She is a YouTuber, beauty YouTuber who I absolutely love. And she came out with her very first collab ever and I'd been waiting for the restock. So I got her Pure X Rawbeautykristi collab. It's a double-sided palette. Obsessed with the concept. And there's a really pretty red in here called Flavor Town. So I'm actually gonna be using that guy. I think to start, we'll see. I also have another beauty brand that I love is Juvia's Palace. Is it Juvia's Palace? Am I tripping? Oh my gosh, someone help. Another brand that I love is Juvia's Place, not Juvia's Palace. What is wrong with me? But there's also a couple really pretty reds in here. So there's this bright one and there's also a little bit of a burnt orange, but I feel like for blending purposes, I might dip into that. And then the gold that we're gonna be using is this guy right here. And this one's called Deepening. Hope I said that right. Okay, base is all on. I'm gonna start with the red shadow first. We wanna just smoke out the background part of the cut crease, so I wanna start with that. And of course, if you guys don't obviously have this palette, any type of red would do. And I'm gonna start off super slow. And I'm just gonna follow the natural crease of like where, or just above it, I should say. My eyes are hooded, so it's really hard to tell sometimes, but. I picked up this red also on this M433 brush. I really like Morphe brushes, and we have a Morphe store here in Tampa that I spend way too much time in. But I get a lot of my brushes and things like that from them. They have really good blending stuff. I don't want to bring it up too high. I want you guys to kind of see, and of course, go with the shape of your own eye. But for me anyway, I'm going to diffuse it out a little bit more, so I just want to leave the room to do that. I want the shadow to go all the way up into my brow. The cool thing about a cut crease also, it's one of my favorite looks. It's so beautiful. Once you have the two-tone colors or however many colors you're adding at the end. But I love it because you can be really messy with the super bright pigments and shadows. So I have stuff going all over the lids, but it doesn't matter because we're gonna be covering that up. All done with Flavor Town. Now I'm gonna dip into that other red color from the Saharan, the other palette that I have by Juvia's Place. And it's just that like brighter reddish orangey color. And I'm gonna use that to just diffuse out the top of the Flavor Town we just added. And I like to use a lighter color to kind of blend, especially if I'm using a brighter color at the top, just so it kind of blends out really nicely. And it's not super pigmented as close to my brow. And then I did switch brushes. This is an M506. It's another really good blending brush. It's just a little bit smaller. The other thing I like to do is take another blending brush, usually a fluffier one, nothing on it. And I just wanna really blend the edges at the top. I don't like any of those harsh lines, unless that's a look I'm going for, you know? Now I'm gonna go back with that original brush that I had, that 433. We're gonna add in some more red. So I do wanna deepen that up. Okay, last thing I'm gonna do, switching back to the 506, I'm gonna pick up, I have like this deep burgundy in the first Jaclyn Hill X Morphe palette that came out, so I'm gonna pick up that. And just to give you guys an idea, I don't know if you can see that. Now I'm just gonna I'm gonna deepen up just above where my crease is. So I want you guys to see I have hooded eyes. So I'm gonna kind of do it right in that crease area, but slightly above it, because when I actually cut my crease, I'm gonna be going slightly above that to give the illusion that I don't have as hooded of eyes as I actually do. But you guys will notice the trend. So we kind of started out with the base color, kept it in the middle, and then we went for the lighter color, kind of used that to diffuse out the top. And then now we're going with the darker color, kind of in that same shade family, and we're just deepening it up. And we'll use this again later to kind of do the same once we actually cut the crease. But I just want to set a good foundation. So if you're using reds and you want to deepen this up, a good burgundy will work. You can also use browns, depending. A nice cool tone brown would also work and go nicely with red. And again, you want to focus on just above your crease if you have a hooded eye like me, or actually in your crease area. Whatever line essentially you'd be making for the cut crease, that's what you want to kind of follow. And then again, don't worry about anything below. That's all going to get covered with the base once we put it on top. And the smaller blending brush just helps me keep the color in the general area that I want, can keep that shape while also blending it out, which is great. Here's how we're looking as a comparison. So the one that we've deepened up and the one that we haven't. Do you guys see the difference? We're getting there. Okay, and I'm gonna take again just a small brush, and I just want to blend out the top part of that color that we just added and make sure it's nice and seamless. I'm just doing that with small circular motions, kind of half on top the color we just laid and half on top the existing base that was there. Sorry, I'm always gonna put that little mirror right in frame because I'm like this when I do my makeup normally, so a little on the blind side, sorry y'all. I went ahead and just cut one of my creases on my left eye, and I just picked up some more of that burgundy color on a JH42. This is one of, I think, Jaclyn Hill's brushes or something from Morphe. So the reason I have this tiny little brush is when I cut my crease, I don't know, maybe I'm just doing it wrong, but I find that all of that like deepening that we just worked on kind of gets lost. So I like to, before I lay the new color on top of the cut crease, I like to just deepen up the outline of it with that same deep color to make sure it peeks through. And hopefully you guys can see what a big difference it makes. I also wasn't sure if I wanted to do like a full, so you guys can kind of see that already. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do like a full cut crease all the way out. I've done that before. Or if I wanted to do just kind of a half cut crease and then blend in the outer corner, and I decided on that instead. So I want more of the red to show than the gold. And then I'll just pick up again the little 506. I'm not gonna put anything additional on it. I just wanna use that to kind of blend it with what's already there. Give you guys an idea. Time for the gold. This gold is just everything. I'm gonna swatch it for you guys. Do you see how super pigmented that is? That's from the Saharan palette. A flat brush I'm gonna use is the M170-8, also from Morphe. You guys will see that trend. I have a lot of brushes, and the majority of them are from Morphe. So I'm just gonna pick up, I don't even think I need to spray it. I might just in case. Actually, no. I'm gonna see how this lays first and then we'll see. So I just pick up some. I have a super flat brush. I even put it in between a paper towel just now to flatten it even more. And it's because I kind of want to use this to draw on the P. Louise base that I added. You notice the primer, the eyeshadow primer, definitely turned pink because of all the red underneath, but that's all right. The gold should cover it. I am gonna spray it. And I'm noticing that the gold has a little bit of little glitter flecks in it. So I'm just gonna try and pat on as much as possible. This is not something that you wanna use like a fluffy brush on or anything. You're gonna get a ton of that glitter fall out. And that's not my gold. And I want it to end about there. It's about, if I divided my eye into thirds, I'm leaving the outer corner third open, and that's what we're gonna use to kind of blend that out. But I'll show you guys how I cut my crease. I just wanted to make sure that I could lay this down and it's gonna be what I wanted. Switching back, I just grabbed a M142, another tiny flat brush, but this one's rounded. So it kind of helps me build up that shape a little bit better. And I kind of just keep adding the primer until I have the amount of space covered that I want of where I'm putting the cut crease. And it's easy now that I have this eye to kind of use as a measure. Watch me say that and then they end up like crooked and uneven, right? There it is. What do you guys think? Pretty even, eh? And as before, we're gonna grab that little tiny brush, pick up some more of that burgundy, and we're just gonna outline the cut crease that we just made with the primer. A little bit of diffusing. Probably end up having to do that again after I lay the gold. But I'm gonna pick up some of the gold now and spray that, and we will copy and paste. Now that our crease is cut, it's time to kind of just fill in that outer third that we left. This is essentially what it's gonna look like. I just added some of that Flavor Town and then that deeper burgundy on top and diffused it out. So I'll do the same on this side. And I kind of start in packing motions first just to lay the color down. And then right in between where the gold ends and the red starts, I kind of just sweep it a tad bit back and forth so that it can be fully blended. And then I like to blend it out to a little bit of a cat eye. I like to move slow to prevent as much fallout as possible. I really don't like when I have to kind of wipe all of that off. My face is already moisturized and ready to go, so try to just be slow and work into it. I'm gonna switch it up. I went into that super cool tone brown that I was telling you guys about earlier, and I really want it to be deep and dramatic, so I'm just gonna leave it in the actual outer third, pack it in there, and then I'm gonna brush it. Diffuse that out. Or blend it out, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, look at the difference. So there's that with the brown added, and this is just the red and the burgundy. This is what we need, you guys. That is it. Okay. I think we've deepened that up nicely. I'm just gonna go back with the other blending brush and do the sweeping again. I don't like any harsh lines. So I tend to take my time on the blending. You guys should too. Looking good so far. Okay, so here's the thing. I haven't fully planned out this look. I knew I kind of wanted the shadow to look like this. The choices are, do we want to add black liner or little red rhinestones, or do we want to add both? Okay, I feel like for sure a liner, so we'll start with that. I just have this Wet n Wild Mega Liner. You guys see that? I'm a huge drugstore makeup kind of girl, for the most part. So when I find little gems like this, I really like them. Now, I wish I could direct you guys, well, maybe I'll try on how I do my eyeliner. I've been doing it, I don't know, since I was 15 or 16 years old. So I kind of have my method down packed. The biggest thing is don't breathe. And I know that sounds extreme, but I literally hold my breath every time. I don't know why I can't not do that. And I always say this, oh, I'm only gonna do a small thin line, and then I end up with a super chunky line. So I don't know, y'all. I'm gonna go until I think it looks cute and then hopefully copy it on the other side. But usually I start with my tail first, going into the corner of my eye. So depending on if you like your liner up super high or super low, you kind of just want to pick where you want the tip of your liner to go and then drag it into your eye from that point. I'm feeling about here. See what I'm talking about? So I know I want it to end here, kind of dragged it in. And I also try to get off the majority of the eyeliner off the little brush because it can get everywhere. And that I hate. From here, I will go to the top, kind of connect that down, fill that in. I also only ever like my eyeliner to go from like half my eye. So I very, very rarely bring it all the way in. I just feel like my eyes are very long, so I'll be doing that for days. So I go about probably like where my eyeball is, middle-ish of my eye. And I start off low and gradually get a little bit higher to meet the tail we just made. Yeah, that's good enough. I never do my eyeliner this far out, but I just feel like I need all of the drama for this. Sorry guys, I got carried away and I added the liner as well as some lashes. The next part from here is going to be, so I thought it would be cool if we kind of created a heart on our face. I know that probably sounds super weird, but I want it to be lighter. I want it to almost look like white-ish. So the closest thing that I have, I wasn't gonna go by white paint or anything, but I figured if I used my concealer all the way through, blend that out and set it with some translucent powder, it'll give us the illusion that we want. And then I am gonna do like the tiny little red lips. And I'm not too sure what else I wanna do from that point, but before I start with this, I'm just gonna grab some of my like typical BB cream. And I'm so sorry, this is the first makeup tutorial you guys are seeing. If you guys are interested in like an everyday, what I usually put on to film, let me know in the comment section below. I can totally do that for you guys. But for today's video, we're kind of going all in. So typically I use just this Dream BB Pure cream from Maybelline, again with the drugstore. And I'm just gonna put this on the perimeter of my face and maybe a little bit down my neck. I just wanna have something to, I think I'm gonna wanna diffuse the heart out with some shadow, so I just wanna have something to do that on. So I'm just gonna kind of go just around. I usually paint on the foundation or the BB cream or whatever I'm putting on my face first and then blend it out with the Beauty Blender. It probably looks like I put absolutely nothing on my face. This color is actually a pretty good match for me. It's the 130 medium deep sheer tint. Okay, next, I don't know, I feel so nervous. We're gonna do the concealer. I look ridiculous, you guys, but also having a lot of fun. This is good practice because this is actually going to be my costume for an at-home family Halloween party, and I will already know how I want to do my makeup by then from practicing here, so that's good. Okay, this is starting to set, so I'm just going to take, I have a dampened Beauty Blender, and I'm going to blend this out and really hope for the best. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay, it's gonna be good, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fine. For the eyebrow part, I'm just gonna grab, I have a little flat angled brush on one side and then another little flat rounded angle. I'm gonna use this to shape out the brows with the concealer around it. All right, y'all, here's how we're looking. I just went ahead and cleaned up the bottoms and then the top part of the heart, and I think I like it for the most part. The next thing that we want to do is just grab some setting power. I have the Laura Mercier one. This is something that I splurge on. And I'm just gonna pick up literally a whole bunch and we're gonna set the entire heart that we just made. And I think this will help lighten it up a little bit. Okay, I think we're completely set. And I think what I wanna do is just take some bronzer and deepen up the outside of the heart, just loosely. And then I think I do wanna go in with some a little bit deeper to just define the heart a little bit more, but I think this will help. I just want it to pop on our face a little bit more. Yeah, see, that's kind of helping already. And for bronzer, Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula is my favorite right now. A, it's drugstore. B, it smells like the beach. It has like, I don't know, like this tropical like beach scent to it, which I really enjoy. And I don't usually like scented stuff, so it says a lot about that. And then I just have this huge fluffy brush again from Morphe. This one's an M527. The bristles on it, I have to tell you, are not my fave, but it's the biggest, fluffiest brush that I have, and I love it for bronzer. I think the next thing I want to do is maybe go in with a darker color. I have this another Morphe brush. This one's an M527. It's a little flat, and I think I kind of just want to go around and darken up the outline. I'm going to take B from that Rawbeautykristi palette. It's like a, I don't know if this is like on the border. No, I'll call it warm tone. It's about a warm tone brown. And I'm just gonna take a little bit on that like flathead brush. This is what I use to contour my nose, which I will probably do next. Outline is all laid down. I just want to take a blending brush, nothing on it, and I want to diffuse this out because I don't want it to be so super harsh. Thinking I like this so far. From here, we're just gonna go ahead and smoke out our under eye. And I'm gonna do this dipping back into the Flavor Town. I just have a little flat-ish, it's a little bit thick of a brush, but I like it because it kind of helps blend out underneath. And I'm gonna start off with a little bit and see how far that takes us. I like to stamp first and then swipe side to side after. Okay, we got the red down, and I think I do want to deepen it up. Okay, and then I have another flat edge brush that I'm going to use. This is a JH43, and I think I'm going to pick up the burgundy. And since we kind of diffused out the red underneath, can you guys look up so you guys can kind of see? I want to take just the burgundy at the tip of this brush and put this closest to the lash line. And this we're just gonna stamp on. I don't wanna blend it out. Taking that same brush, I'm gonna dip into that cool tone brown and deepen it up even more. Again, just stamping on, keeping as close to my lash line as possible, and we will not be diffusing that out. I wanna add some waterline eyeliner. I have one from Rimmel London. It's just like a nudish color, but I like it better than like a bright white. We're just gonna add that to our lower lash line. Okay, now before I put my bottom lash mascara, I have these, I don't know, singles for lashes. They're by Kiss, and I just wanted to take one of each and kind of stick them down in the middle. Give us a little bit more flare. So it looks like they have short, medium, or just short and medium options, so you guys can kind of see that. So we went with the shorter under lash, and then I just added one of those little red rhinestones to the center of it to kind of hide the lash band. Okay, I am gonna be adding, I think, some highlighter, blush, and then, ooh, I think I might wanna do nose contour. I'll start with the nose contour, and I think I wanna use like that same brownish that I used from before. A little trick is if you ever add too much, you can always add some more translucent powder on top and kind of diffuse it out a little so it's not so prominent. I'm gonna go ahead and just add some highlight. I'm using a Morphe highlight palette, and I'm going between two colors. There's Meteor and Bang Bang. Both are kind of like a goldy color. And I'm just gonna highlight the nose right at the tip, and then kind of in between my eyes on the bridge of my nose. These are pretty typical places that I highlight, so it's not too far off base. Okay, And I'm gonna take the same mix and just highlight the limited area of the cheek, only inside of the heart, of course. And I figured the mixture of like the gold reflex on the highlight would go really nicely with the shadow. Once the light hits it, cheeks all highlighted. Time for blush. And for blush, I have a palette, not by Morphe, not finally, right? This one's actually by BH Cosmetics, which is another, I guess it's drugstore prices, but you can really only get it online in a couple of department stores, like I know Kohl's carries them. But what I wanna do are super, super prominent, like almost circular little pops of blush high up on the cheekbone. So I think I'm gonna get this brush. I don't know where this is from, but it kind of has like a little bit of a flat head, but it's also rounded, and I think I can get the shape. Just trying to decide. I know we have all the reds and everything going. I think I want to go with a bright pink, so I'm gonna pick this shade right here. I struggle with putting on blush in real life, so can't really help you with this one too much, guys, but I'm trying to go on my fake apples of my cheek. Some of it is gonna overlap with the highlight that we just put down, but that's all right. Okay, blush is on. I also went ahead and added some to the bottom piece of my nose. Next, we're going to work on our lips, and I think we're almost done. The lip liner that I have is Cherry by MAC, and we're gonna be doing the tiny little lips. So I'll show you guys as soon as I can find a tiny little mirror. So what I wanna do is just, I'm gonna measure from like the peak of my lip and just a little bit over and kind of draw a straight line down. And then follow it with the bottom. Switching over to this NARS red lipstick that I have. I'm gonna fill in the rest. Okay, you guys, this is the final look for the makeup. The only thing that's left is some setting spray, which I desperately need with all of this powder. This one I just have, it's a Milani Make It Last matte finish. I love this stuff. So much so I take a bath in it. Now, it's time to get dressed. I will go ahead and put everything that we made, our dress, the hat, all of the accessories, our wand, and I will come back for the final reveal. You guys, I know I look a little crazy, right? I think, first of all, the makeup, I think came out so on point, so on par for everything that we have going on. But can we get into this detail? The wand that we made, the collar, you guys have to see this. So I've been walking around in it, and it did exactly what I wanted it to do. So this piece is actually a little cushiony because of the foam paper that we used, and it sits really nicely on top of the shoulder, so I can wear this for the party all night long. And then it ties in the back, so you have the ties that we left here, and literally came out perfect. This is our wand. This might be one of my favorite things. And here's our huge hat. I don't think I measure it out properly about how big I wanted this to be, but now I'm just fully committed because a queen is a queen. And here are all of the little hair accessories. So we have our Queen of Hearts card that we added in, some more of those little red rhinestone hearts that we created, and then I actually found at the beauty supply store some of these actual hair clips that are little rhinestone hearts, which I loved and just totally went with the vibe. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. It's been a while since I think I've really dressed up for Halloween, and definitely I don't think I've ever made this much of my own costume before, and it was a big challenge, but I'm so happy with how it came out. You guys, write in the comment section, what do you think? Did I kill it or not? Because I feel like I killed it. Honestly, the side detail came out so cool. So we were left with some black in the middle on this one. And then on this side, we were left with some red in the middle, so we have some contrast. You guys know that I messed up the cut in the back, but what a good way to hide it with all of the jumbo cards down the tail. I just, vision-wise, literally couldn't have asked for a better outcome. Makeup wise, I know this was an oddball way to show you guys makeup for the first time on the channel, but I really hope that you loved it. Again, let me know in the comment section below if you guys are interested in more of like a everyday makeup look. I can definitely do that for you and tone it down. But as always, please like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. I'm wishing you an early happy Halloween, and I will catch you guys in the next one.